This thing on. Testing, okay, testing. Cool. Alright, almost there, family. Testing, making sure the sound is coming smooth, coming to you. Much love. Alright, I think we clear. If not, start recording on my end. Give me 1 second, family. Make sure all this is clear. Make sure the sound is here. And most likely people not up right now and not getting this, so you catch it in the AM when it's flowing for you, or after I edit it a bit. Oh, Ness, okay. Alright. Wholeness family. I trust you well. Vibing in resonance. Your brother Curtis Rule coming to you in resonance as a reflection of you, just one of the many, and I'm honored too. You know, you share when it's in resonance, and right now I'm feeling resonance. So bring up the energy, take a deep breath, jump on a ride with me as we slide through the spaces and share what is becoming more clear to self. And that's all we're supposed to do. And when things come more clear, share with somebody. And anybody who's in resonance to hear it, pick it up, decipher what you're sharing, honor to them and the many manifestations, as we say. I honor you and your manifestations. All right, today, driving ahead, the title of this one is Womb Confusion. Womb Confusion. And when we say womb confusion, what do you think about first? Let's see, that video got a message pop up. Let's see. Please check video resolution. It's not optimal. Trust it well. I'll as you get through it, I'll be some editing to it. All right, so womb confusion is the title of this. Womb confusion. I should have had it on top. When we think about that, womb confusion, what is that? Womb is the portal. Womb is the zero. Womb is the mother. Womb is life. Womb is the woman. Womb is the grandmother. We think about coming here, our birth. Actually, this is the birthday or the earth day of my grandmother. So that was also another one of those forces that pulled me into this message to bring this right now. And new life comes through wombs, comes through portals. And it's funny because my grandma is actually going through a new life, because she just started finding for herself holistic health, herbs, gardening, making teas, and I think it's kind of revitalizing her in this new space where she did not know, like, it was the food that she was eating that was so instrumental in bringing her into the space that she's in right now. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. And so she's making those decisions to change her diet. And it's a beautiful, beautiful process. Because I've been trying to tell her this for like, 4 years now, or longer. And they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And it's so beautiful because she's now on like social media, Facebook and stuff like that. So she's like finding these little pockets of videos on holistic health, vegan, and all these things. And it's beautiful because she then takes those same morsels of information and she shares them with grandchildren, with her children, with people, neighborhood people. So it shows how they say if you have a male or a son, like you can raise the family, a strong family, But they say when you have a woman, it's a nation. So I usually call some of my students, my female students, the young nation builders, because it's so easy to be attracted to knowledge, to wisdom, to strength, to beauty, and that's what women are. That's what flowers are. That's what nature is. It's so attractive. It's no wonder why bees, flow to certain flowers, so due to the striations, the patterns or the colors. It's so attractive. That's that sexual nature, that six energy, Venus energy, Venusian energy, and it's welcomed. It's not a resistance right there most of the time, but you typically get that resistance. I found when you have that Mars, or you have that a lot of over masculine energy where you don't want to share. We can't communicate. Your masculine is too high. My masculine is too high. And no one can put their ego aside and find that harmony and get that true alignment. Because somebody wants to be bigger. Somebody wants to be louder. Somebody wants to be stronger. Somebody wants to be something other than just being. So that's the beauty of the water element, the mother element. It's nurturing, it's compassionate, and they're flexible. When I first started seeing, when you talk about one of the most flexible beings on the planet, you gotta this woman. Being able to bend but not break. Walls, being able to stretch and bring life into this space. Like, it's so much that you can write books, stories, which they are, on the greatness of femininity. And womb confusion is that many people on the planet, as we know, don't know where they came from. Don't know who their mother is. Something like biological and metaphysically, like throughout our story, not his story, because you got to tell her story before you can get any type of his story, because all life comes from a her. The divine feminine gives birth and share her works or fruits with the world. But often we get confused when we talk about divine femininity. It's something within all of us. All of us have this balance within self, these poles within self, and bringing those into harmony it creates the androgen that gives birth, us creating something. Everybody who can create something, you have that, you're employing your divine femininity within yourself. This is your birthright. You can create. But on the physical manifestation of divine femininity is the woman. And so we see a lot of the targeting of women on the planet, because if you control the woman, or you control the portal, you control what comes into the space. You control the children. So you see so many tactics, so many systematic plays within the game that distorts the way the mind works, especially targeting the woman, the oldest woman, the youngest woman, the baby, all of it. So being mindful of the game, and we're going to talk about that a bit more today. Advertisement, marketing, all of this is catered to the woman. Because what? The men flock toward the woman. That's straight up. Like, it's the sexual nature. It's this sexual nature, this divine femininity. This is beauty. This is beauty personified. Again, divine femininity is what's behind the eyes of a woman. What's behind the eyes of a female tiger. What's behind the eyes of a female lion. What's behind the eyes of a female frog. What's behind the eyes of a woman is the divine femininity. Remember, this is also within yourself. So don't get confused as we dive into this conversation. All right, so this picture right here popped up. I dropped this right here. And actually, before we get into that, so the game, first of all, we're in a space where we run on scripts and characters and archetypes. And this is found within ancient texts. Where they say, homies from Charleston, we been ya, y'all just getting ya. Like, you just got here within this type of awareness where within, from the neophyte perspective, whereas things that we thought was true, that ain't it, bruh. It's way more than that. These confines of what we've been given to live on, these foundations are shaky. The pillars are falling. And one of those things that, how do you find out more information, valid information, is talking to the elders. The elders. The elders are those within your community or within the grand community that you pull information from. Because it is known that the wise souls have wisdom. Why? Because they have experience. They've been there. They've done that. They've written a book, as they say. But many of those books have been stolen, changed, erased. So we go straight to the elders. And when we talk about the elders, we talk about knowledge, we talk about life. Who are the elders? Who are the elders within society, within the world, within the reality, within cultures, within people? Because that's where you find the truth at. You find the truth by talking to the oldest on the block. That's how you get those real stories. The oldest in the community, the oldest at your job, the oldest anywhere. You want to find some collectively truth, you want to talk to some of the elders. And then do your research by putting things together and adding to that and put it to the timelines, because some things may lap, and that gives you a greater validity on what is true. So, one of the surrogate mothers of the planet, of the society, we're in the West right now. One of the surrogate mothers, because this whole system is a surrogate mother. It takes you at birth, gives you a name, bam, puts you in a school, raise you up, feeds you throughout the way, gives you a space to work, puts you in a city or a city, and gives you money, gives you loans, gives you all kinds of stuff, and distorts the mind in a way that is programmed to complete the system and go through it again. Cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle after prima loco. You go crazy because you're doing the same thing over and over again. Not only and expand further, because you're doing this generationally. One example. I'm from the South where they eat every part of the pig and every part of the boar. It's funny because my grandma's maiden name is McCullough, and that actually goes back to a boar, actually. Sidebar. How we, I'm still coming through. Testing. I can move this up a little closer. I'm sorry, fam. Get my mic popping. Testing. All right, cool. And the way, let's say, even African Americans or Southern people used to eat, where fried everything, or so a lot of different things. But that was passed down. Habits are passed down. It was Dr. Lorich. Basically, I forgot the name of the book. I think Biology of Life, something like that. It basically said that none of the diseases that are passed down, or it was like 99 point something % of them, are not passed down through genetics. It's habits that are passed down. So if great grandma cooked this way and she fed grandma this way, when she has children, grandma's going to teach her children to cook this way. Same, so on and so forth. So by then, all the results or the sum of what those particular foods create, be it like them say, I have a family of diabetes, or diabetes run in my family, or hypertension runs in my family, or certain behavior things runs in my family. It's typically because those same alchemical cabinets within the body are filled with those things from that particular food. So those are passed down. So when you change that, you change the personality, you change the behaviors, you change the health issues by making that change, by changing that cycle, changing that circle, making it a spiral, and you keep flowing up. You're ascending because you're expanding, or you're expanding outward. Something you're just expanding. and then you determine how you want to eat that brings your energy up, or takes you down as you continue to expand. So as you pass down those things, another thing we pass down is our um, religious confines or religious dogmas. You pass them down, and through time and through time and through time through time and time again. This is a structure that is heavily saturated within the people around the globe, are tied to some type of belief system of a higher power, and that's where the surrogate mother comes in. It tells you that, no, I am your mother. I am your God. This is who you should pray to. This is who you should worship. And these external deities become cipherns, or call them egregors, who pulls your energy, who pulls your praise, and sprinkles down a little bit for you to do the same thing again, the same cycle, and being that many had minimal proof of the reality that this was beneficial to me as a person, or me as a family, or us as a nation, or us as a community, us, little was given to validate those prayers, those payments that were given out into the ether. You had to wait till you die to figure out if this thing was true or not. So you can imagine how many people came back and was like, "Oh yeah, that was it. Jesus is that. Krishna is that. And that didn't happen. No, it didn't happen. And so that allowed the extension of a program that would come back void. Why didn't I don't know? And then when you get there, you realize, we ain't gonna go too deep into it, but they are to learn more about older societies, to get more in depth of, and everybody follow this, most likely follow this channel, most likely already aware of it, but if not, we continue to dive into it. So I had an issue, and I'm still coming through the spaces where I want to expand my vernacular, expand my awareness, expand just having the words to express certain things. And I was having issues with that, and I learned later that English is a confined, language, and how it's controlled. It allows certain things, it doesn't allow certain things. And words themselves is sloppy. Words are swords. It's a cognate for sword. Words, swords. Move the S around, move the R around. And they cut out the reality based upon the frequencies of the cymatics that you spit, and it cuts things out. So it is or it isn't. It depends on how it is interpreted, how it is received, and it's very sloppy. You got other languages like Tamil, or Mandarin, where you have thousands of characters. Characters as in like letters or symbols, like not 26. As in English, there are thousands. So when you say something, this is exactly what you mean to say. I have no confusion of what you just said, because you said it in these particular this phrase. It's no confusion. Hence, womb confusion. Not knowing where you came from, because let's say as you were walking through the sand, or you were taking on your journeys, somebody was behind you, kind of racing your footprints. Like, you get it out of here. Like, you not know what they cutting you. That's again surrogate mother, cutting your cord, cutting the mother who you truly are, where you truly came from. And this is the cerebellum snatcher, the thief of memories. And they do this within the school system. They don't teach you, or we're not taught some of the origins of these things. So again, not to get sidebar, is if you want to learn more, expand, talk to some of the eldest people within spirituality. You want to learn the origins of religion, go try to find the oldest religion that you can find, and find if you can have some of those things translated into text or in your language. One of the oldest, still prominent religious spaces to study religion or spirituality, because that's what religion is the house of spirituality. It's this to hold it in this particular square, this particular box. This is what it does. It keeps us within this space confined. And take that box off, you want to learn more about spirituality. What is spirituality? Where does spirituality come from? Where is some of the most highest energy for spirituality? You check out India or the Middle East, Egypt. Like all these places are, Sumeria, Atlantis. Like you go back, quite some places to get more stuff. But the most recent that I love to tap into is Hindu texts, Sanskrit, Tamil, and you find words that has been translated into spaces and who already know the game, literally know the game, know the steps to the game, know the characters in the game, the archetypes in the game, the numerology of the game, how many spaces, how many times, how do you get here, where do you come from, where do you go, and being able to break this thing down into language so it can be easily understood and practiced. So we continue. So I'm reading this, I'm pulling from this book right here. It's one of my favorite books at the moment, and it's a game. What a better way to attract a being like myself? Make it a game, So this book is called Yoga, the Yoga of Snakes and Arrows. It's where they get Chutes and Ladders from, Trouble, a lot of these games. But this game is, this book was written by, the game played by seers, yogis, saints, constructed this right. We want it for one of those pastimes to understand the space. So So within this book, we're not gonna go through. It's called the Leela of Life. Leela meaning life or game, and it's called the Game of Life. Leela of Life. And in this game, it breaks down different spaces that you move through in your journey, and it breaks it down as a game. So it has a board. As a board you would take out, and you would use something that represents you. I typically use a crystal, me and the queen, and we use these or a ring, something like that, something that can fit within the squares, and you roll a die. And guess what? This is everything in this game is symbolic, and it's freaking dope because how you get into the game? You start the game off in a space they call cosmic. What is it? Cosmic consciousness, I believe. Yeah, cosmic consciousness. And you can't get into the physical plane or the earth until you roll a 6. Check out the numbers, check out the symbology. Until you roll a 6. 6 is sex. So until you get sexual on that thing, that's the only way you're birthed into the space. Again, our parents. Everyone that's here came through a mother and had a father. Straight up. So you had to get 6. You had to get sex to come into the space. You had to get that Venus energy to start. And as you begin, you fall on different spaces. If you fall on an arrow, it takes you higher within different planes. How higher up the chakras, you land on a snake's head. You slither on down. You on the belly. The snake will bring you down, and it's freaking dope. So one of the spaces in this game that you would land on, it breaks on what they call irreligiosity. And I'm gonna slow this down so this can come through clearly for myself. Thank you, family, for aiding me in that process. All right, so I'm gonna read it out to you. Irreligiosity is square number 29. The player who lands on irreligiosity, which is Surhama, is the discovery of his role is truth, and role in the game, and he acts out his part regardless of the outcome of his actions. He knows that as long as he listens to the voice of the inner voice inside, he will have no fear. Keep flowing. Facts. Faith in accordance with law is nature, is sudhama. So again, this will be the word for you operating within your inner self, listening to your inner voice, you in resonance with nature. Sudhama. Again, so using these words to express certain concepts of the reality is one of the beautiful parts of this game. I'll continue reading. Blind faith, which disregards the cosmic principle, leads to adhama. Adhama are those actions which are contrary to the individual's dharma. And the dharma is the good karma. Karma is something coming back to you because you got the space. Adhama leads one away from the true course and back to the first chakra, or the illusion, which is in essence blind faith. Adhama is working contrary with the laws of existence. At sunshine, everything changes on the planet. The wind, atmospheric pressure, temperatures, tempos of life is increased. Sleeping at this time acts contrary to the laws of the planet. Thus, adhama, looting the earth from its natural essence, which are within. I lost what was that? Sorry. Which are then employed without concern with the negative effects of the environment or the future of the planet's needs, is adhama against the earth. Similarly, there are adhama that relates to one's physiology. To hold tension and not release, it is adhama. But to release and adopt the unfair means adds to a greater adhama. Adhama does not exist by itself. It is negated by the law of dharma, an action contrary to the true inner nature. Denying one's own adhama, denying one's own self is adhama. There is self-rejection, self-praise are both adhama. To understand one's position in the game is sudhama, operating your nature. All else is adhama. And there's more to it, but as you begin to see, religion has a ceiling. Religion has a space that you can grow in, and then you hit your head at the top of it because you have a door that you're locked into. Because typically, in many of the religions, there's a buffer between you and the spirit, you and God. There's a medium between it. Like say you and your bank, you and your money. You got to go to the bank to get your money. Unlike cryptocurrency, where you got it right there in your wallet. And I ain't going to go into a crypto spill, but it's all connected. This is where we transitioning into a new space. But you have a ceiling. Before you talk to God, you gotta holler at the rabbi. You gotta holler at the preacher. You gotta holler at the deacon. You gotta consult with them, because they're your medium between you and God. Nah, it don't work like that. If I'm a child of God, I'm a reflection of the Supreme Being. If we're made in His image, then call us by our name. Most of you know the space. And know thyself is this. This is what this is all going into. Know all itself. And your ability to expand within your spirituality is one of the many reasons that you're here. It's one of the driving force that will get you in the front seat of your consciousness to control where your ship is going. So, as it says, sudhama, honoring oneself. And shout out to my sister, flying lasagna lady, Aurora. Check her out on YouTube. She got a dope space, but I like how she breaks down words and share her vernacular is made in a special way that actually, for me, it gave me so much of an insight on different spaces within spirituality, because she pulled words and did her study and like put things together, and it was phenomenal. But one of the things, that diagram she does, when you talk about the singularity and going, straight up with the rise of the Kundalini, or you getting to the center space, they say that the how it goes, the path is straight and narrow. Many of these religions are talking about, you getting to the center, the 144,000, the promised land, and the certain smaller amount of people that gets there, and the invention of death. That's a big one. The invention of death. That's many people are like, what? The invention of death? I thought we all, nah, we don't. But going outside of the path, going into cycles, like you're supposed to go, let's say, go start wide, and then you're going in center, dividing, you're going in smaller, then you beam, and then this is going vertically. But if you miss the chance or opportunities to go up, you continue to go wide, when you're supposed to be getting smaller, and then you hit what she calls the membrane of death, and you basically start over, and you fall or you descend. And religion, again, has a ceiling, so you can only reach a certain space within. Let's say here you hit, you hitting over here, you hitting over here, down here. We need you to go straight up the center, and center being the self, the seat of the soul, the pineal, like raising the Kundalini to not necessarily raising. You do raise the Kundalini, raise the spirit, build your energy, don't spill the seed. To keep it flowing, let me take a sip of water so I can slow down once again. So we talked about, so we're going into chakras now. So as you have a ceiling, you have a limit to how you can't meet God. You can sit at the feet of God, within certain, I say specifically within the Christian space, because that's where I came from previously. That's where it was passed down to me. And so within the chakra space, we have 7, from the root from the root, the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And these are ascensions. These are steps that you raise your energy flow. And within the religious, it actually breaks down within the game that you are only to get to the 4th chakra. That's as high as you get. As high as you go. As high as you go. Because you got to be lighter to travel higher. So you can't be holding on to certain things. So you can't be carrying other deities on your back. You need your energy. You can't be feeding elsewhere. You can't be busting your energy elsewhere. You can only get there conserving your energy and mindfully ascending. And I'll read a little bit more as we continue to go. So, the danger of getting caught in the adharma is greater in the 4th chakra. In the 4th chakra of the game, the first 3 chakras energy was devoted to the physical, celestial, and astral plane. Now, in the 4th chakra, the player attains a degree of balance and begins to understand the importance of the act of religion. Everything has a place. Everything. Even religion. Even the system, the old system. It did its thing. Now it's time to move forward. Grow up. Continue to read. Importance of religion. While he seeks his own role in the game, it is possible that he might ignore the existence of Dharma and attempt to start his own way, ignoring planetary laws and the laws of existence. Here, faith is key. Faith is the essence of the fourth chakra. Faith, devotion, bhakti. The faith leads the player. If he acts in harmony with his true nature, Sudhama, the plane of austerity. I think that's austerity. That's like joy, I believe. To the plane of austerity. But if he is not in tune with the innermost vibration, he can be drawn back into the delusion, drawn back into confusion. Because again, you can't go anywhere. You don't see the light. You remember a false proto surrogate mother that told you that if you don't follow this, you're going to go to, some other confusion thing that you have not validated. And you fall back into confusion, only to start back over again at the first chakra. And that's what it actually goes to. Acting in the faith alone is liable to create irreligiosity. Faith alone, without grounding in the laws of existence, is blind faith. And blind faith is the most frequent cause of energy loss on this plane. Faith, in accordance with the law of existence, is Sudhama. But faith alone is Adhama. Now, I'll leave it at that. That's just this part of the book, part of the game. And I hope we pull it from this family. And to tap into a little bit more of it, more about the woman or the womb, confusion, not knowing where you come from. And some of the things you can take it as science fiction. Hey, you're just making it up, Kurt. It's cool. You just add it in one of those Avengers flicks and like, oh yeah, I remember Kurt says it's cool. Like you listening, I appreciate you. And so I'm gonna give you another part of this amazing book here that I'm still going through. It's called Wombs and Alien Spirits. Man. And again, take it as science fiction. So in this book, it talks about the Zeren, the real Zars, and it's an African tribe in Sudan. In Sudan, where we're talking about thousands of years, when it talks about the different parts and periods of the world. This is not thousands of years ago, but this is practices that are in our recent past. And this is actually a study by anthropologists, and they or ethnologists who did studies on a particular tribe, who would then report back to the queen and of their studies and paid to do these things. So taking facts through experiences, translations, living in the people. They call it not armchair. They actually go in there. Stay weeks, months, years at a time, and to learn different practices, become one with the people, and do some exploring. Now say so within her findings, her name is Janice Boddy or Booty, Boddy. The Zar Coat in northern Sudan, where it talks about possession. And briefly before we dive into this, we talk about possession. What is possession? And we see that possession is something that's mine. This is mine, that type energy. Mine type energy. If you're trying to connect to the all, nothing is yours. It's all of ours. All is self. So when you go into that mindset that this is mine and mine alone, you're losing. That's adharma. You're not listening to the truest, innermost part of yourself that knows everything is connected, knows that there is no separation. And anytime you operating in that space that that things are connected, that you are everything. This is a reflection of self. Dharma is your ticket. You move forward within your path. But when you start to put up these walls of separation, I ain't this, I don't like this, this is not me, you begin to develop. And then when things are, when I say this is not me, when you're not listening to your truest self. So you can say, okay, I'm not being my true self. I'm not living in my purpose. I'm not living in my light. That's you understand. So possession, as we know, within right now we in a more patrilineal society where women are even possessed. Like, this is mine. Like, you buy her. Like, they got prostitution. They got shit. The first uh, marriages we know them to be now was the payment off. So, like, you bought, your a concubine. You had multiple wives. You pay a dowry to the family because you're taking something from them, and you would pay to have her. This would be your slave, to be a part of this family. And possession. So even you have spirits who possess different bodies. So we had within this womb an alien spirits. Some of these, the code here would do a practice of controlling their line or lineage. Who was coming in to the family? Who would take them to the next? Who would take the family to the next level? And they would do this by using the wombs and practicing and reading the stars. And so one of the things that was, again, the surrogate mother. Now we look at stars and we was watching Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight today, and then Hollywood TV, television tells lies to your vision, has us watching fake stars. Beautiful people. You are a light. You are a brilliant light. But then they're painted within other spaces. So then we start to worship them. We pay to see them. When you got the stars up here for free. When you got the real stars here for free. Things that happen only once in 70 years, once in 2,000 years. Conjunctions that hasn't been seen together in this succession in 26,000 years. Things, but we can hit DVR and record other spaces where it has that pull our energy. These things pull our energy. And I'm sorry, trying to wrap this up because it's getting a little late here. But pulling of the energy. They would see a star, a comet, if you will, planetary. We see shooting stars all the time. And if you're in a city, you might have a lot of light pollution where you can't see the stars. But when you go out to what we call the country or the rural areas, man, what a sight. What a breathtaking sight. That just lives with you. Because you can see the connections and stars, and you wonder, what if, what are, where are we the only? No. And they prove this within these practices within Sudan, the Zara code, what they call. And they would pull down the power of the stars into their wombs. Hear me. They would pull down the power of the stars. One star that's coming through. After knowing that it's coming through, this is hell of astrology. These are astronomers, and they would capture the star by doing different practices. And it is said that, again, they go into a possession where the mother of the womb holder would then birth these aliens or these beings who they chose. It didn't always go perfect. Within the book that tells you sometimes it didn't go right. But those who did go right, they were birthed into the family that would bring a certain light, a certain fiber, a certain power to the family that would bring them up in class systems, bring them up in their society. And this is, we only know we only do this much of what sexual really is, or what intercourse it really is. It blows your mind when you dive into this thing for real. And really understand this space, especially our brothers here and sisters here, knowing the womb is such man, I don't even have a word for that. Like, we ain't even been doing it right, you know? We ain't even been having sex right. Like, what? We haven't even been getting down like that, getting in, out, and around. Like, you're not even doing it right. That's what the master would tell you. Like, you know what you have there? You know what's, do you know what's in that box? You know what that can do? No. Like, this is going to be another conversation we'll build on another day. But Tantra, I'll say that. Tantra, tapping into your tantric practices, your breathing, understanding your body flow. I'm actually reading a book, sharing it with Danny. It's a Taoism book on sexual practices. But you can create this force or this orgasmic energy within yourself. With my brother Mark, the inner trainer, that's on Instagram, that teaches you cosmic sexuality. You know, within breathing, you know, you're closing the sphincter, using that energy to be taken up. You know, not out, ejaculating. But I digress back into the space as we understand that all this stuff, but tapping into your origins, your womb, coming from the delusion. You know, roll that 6. You here now. So I need you to use that sexual energy to bring that kundalini up so that you may expand and help others expand. All right, this picture right here behind me, and it's a picture of some goddesses, really. And what the goddess, what's going on here is one of them slaying demons over here, like taking them out. You know what I mean? Like the sword in her, like see those weapons up there. You can see you got a spear, you got the axes up there, you have the sword in her hand. She's riding a freaking tiger, you know? And these and look at the symbolism here before we head out, family. This is the symbolism where, let's just take it from her, and she's on a lion, or on a tiger, or it's also often, I think her name is Durga. It's right down the bottom. Durga defeats an army of demons mounted on her trusted, faithful lion, or sometimes depicted as a tiger. This is not, let's say, this is not her pet. Like, this is a relationship here where he is taking her somewhere. And just like on the picture beside, you have the lion there pulling the woman, pulling the goddess out of the tomb. You see in her hand, she has the Ankh of life. He got the Caduceus staff, like the showing of life. And he's assisting the goddess. Because as we know, if the goddess, or maybe you don't know, if the goddess is asleep, this the divine femininity within yourself is asleep, is oppressed, is not here, is distracted, is gone, we go nowhere. Because how are we going to get there? We don't got no portal. There's no door. There's no creation being done because she's asleep. Is it? So the most noblest thing you can do is help yourself, first of all. Activate your divine femininity within yourself. Creativity. Get your stuff going. Let's get out here. Let's make it happen. Like, wake her up within you, male and females. And also for the males, we are known as the explorers. The explorers of the cosmos, explorer of the portal, explorer of the woman. Aid her into finding herself. This is of the highest nobility. This is way easier said than done. But it's up to you to find balance within yourself. Each and every one of you listening to this, I appreciate you for sticking with me this long. And aid each other into finding the greatness. This is first done with you. Understanding your space. And then connect with those in resonance with you. Aid them in being a reflection of it. You don't have to teach nobody. you can assist with the kindness of your heart. Because we're here together. We all came through a mother. So in honor of the grandmother, my grandmother, also aid us all by activating your divine femininity, clearing up this confusion, finding who you are, knowing who you are, and acting as such, tapping into the space where you know the game, and keep vibing in the resonance. I'm your brother Curtis Aru, the reflection of you, just one of the many, and I'm honored to share some of my truth with you so we all can be true as best as possible. I'm just doing my part. I'm gonna check out the yoga and snakes, the yoga of snakes and arrows by Harris Johari, same cat that wrote this phenomenal numerology book. Get the game. It's a board in the back and the inside where you can play, and it tells you the instructions. One of my favorite books. You can play by yourself, and it's the characters and archetypes of the game. Again, treat it as science fiction if you don't believe me, and just pull something from it. Just like you can pull something from any story. The other book I talked about today was Wombs and Ancient Spirits by Janice Bodie. And check it out by the Czars. I'm about to take it on down and head to the dream space, see what I can tap into there. Keep vibing and resonance at top speeds. Also, find me on, or find us, OneTribe podcast. We're trying to get out there a little bit more on lbry.tv, where we do not have to worry about being censored like on Facebook and YouTube and a lot of other platforms. Go there, you'll find this video recording there. A link is down below. It's a referral link. You click it, it's free. We operate on a blockchain. I get rewards for it. You get rewards as well. And we don't have to worry about censorship. So check us out there. Keep vibing and resonance at top speeds. Check it out. Record, go rewind this, get some more jewels. Hit some comments down below. Tell me what's up. And check us out also on Instagram at curtis.haru on Instagram, in the business page where you can get some fly amulets here. Keep these resin amulets here from crystals from the Enealogy on OneTribe, HMU, Instagram. I'm out, family. Keep vibing the resonance at top speeds. I love you. It's the only reason I'm doing this.